July 8th, 2026. We're going to go over the past two market days and we're going to look at the price action with regards to two things. We're going to look at the momentum and we're going to look at the 84 EMA, this yellow EMA you see here. We're just going to look at how the price action and the momentum stacks up with these things here and how many obvious trades were there. Not obvious wins, you never know if you're going to win or not, but how many obvious setups were in your favor that occurred. We're going to start with the previous day, which is the 7th of July. Over here, right here, we have the 15-minute MACD momentum. We have the Heikin-Ashi candles. Makes it very easy to see clear differences in buying and selling. Then we have the 2-hour momentum over here. And then we have the 5-minute momentum here. And all of which are in Heikin-Ashi candles, not the regular execution time frame like the 2-minute or the 1-minute. These regular candles for those for now. But I like using the Heikin-Ashi candles for the higher time frames because look at how clean. It looks very clean, and it looks clean for a reason. When we're looking at averages, Heikin-Ashi candles are amazing for that reason. Okay, we're going to start with market open. We're not going to be using any critical levels that I normally use for this back test, for this review of the market. We're just going to be using the weekly critical levels, which are these purple lines. This is the maximum low of last week. This is the close, or open rather. This is the close. And then this is the maximum high of last week. So we're just going to be using these lines and seeing how the price action plays with those and how it respects momentum. This is the NASDAQ. So July 7th, we open up the market with what? What do we see? The 2-hour is telling us we can only take short trades right now. The 15-minute momentum at the open is primed for a short trade. And the 5-minute momentum is primed for a short trade. All of this is happening at the beginning of the market yesterday, July 7th. So we are looking for opportunities on the 1-minute chart or the 30-second chart to take trades to the downside. We're looking for realignments. And the first realignment happens here because the momentum realigns to the downside. And then the next realignment happens right here because the momentum realigns to the downside. One is already in the red and one pulls all the way up to the opposite side. The first one would be a loss because the price action would hit that top of the candle before hitting a 1-to-1 or any other ratio. Just a straight up loss right there. I'm going to mark that red. And then this one here was a win. Huge win with a 10R runner potential. But it was a win nonetheless, even with a 1-to-1 ratio. So that's the essence of this strategy. We're looking for realignments when everything is aligned on the 2-hour and when it's aligned with the 15-minute. Notice how the 15 is going to be expanding for a while. See this? As soon as the 15 starts contracting, we really want to start taking caution or skipping the trades. As soon as the 15 gets to the green, we're not even interested anymore. We want it to be going with us. We want the MACD histogram, the momentum, to be going with us, not against us. The more things going with you, the better. And the more you can increase your probabilities. So we move forward in time after this win. We're looking for the next realignment in momentum, which happens here. Because this was the first win playing out, the momentum. Then the momentum is resetting, and now it's reinitializing to the downside. That's another win right there with a 1-to-1 ratio. Going forward, everything is still going in the same direction. 15 is expanding, 5 is expanding. The 2-hour still obviously in the red. It's going to stay in the red for the rest of the day. 2-hour moves very slow. The next realignment occurs here. That would have been a win as well, 1-to-1. And then the next realignment was here, which would have been a loss. Would have been a loss right there. We're going to color that red. One more thing talking about these weekly levels. Notice how the price came up to this weekly level, rejected off, consolidated with this weekly level, and then rejected off. Interesting. Beautiful. Now we're down at this weekly level here, and we're going to be consolidating around this weekly level for a while. There's some rejection candles off of it, some, but not many. It's kind of ambiguous. This is a good rejection candle off of this weekly level. This is a good rejection candle off of this weekly level here. But we're just going to look for alignments. Is there another alignment that occurs? No. After this loss right here, notice what happens with the 5-minute momentum. What's happening? The 5-minute momentum is now going against us. It's going to start going against us for the next 2 or 3 hours. So there's no more alignments that occur. We want everything to be going to the downside, like the 2 hours telling us to be patient. That starts to happen later in the day. Right around here, does the 2 hours start to fall back down to the 15 minutes start to cross back over. See this? 15 minutes has been working down for a while now. So when it's working down with us like this, now we have the green light because we're aligning with the overall higher time frame momentum. Now we want to wait till it's close to crossing over, which is here in this time. We want to check the 5. Yep, 5 is expanding and healthy. Looks good. Everything looks fine. That's a realignment there. That would have been a loss. I'm going to color that red. And then the one right before this was this one here. It was a little bit early because the 15 hadn't crossed over yet, but it was still going down with us. That would have been a win. And then, did we have anything else? No, because this one right here, technically, yeah, that one is, and that would have been also a win. Because we would have gotten stopped out from this, but that would have been a loss. The very next candle was a fat red candle, flipping the momentum alignment back to the downside. So that would have been a win. One win, one loss, second win there. Then this is another realignment that occurs right here. It was a single reset. MACD's moving down, single bar reset, realigns to the downside. It's another win. 3 wins, 1 loss in this later in the day segment. And then right after this, the momentum is now on the 5 minutes starting to pull away from us, so we're not even interested anymore. There's no more trades for the rest of the day. So in this one day alone, this is July 7th, yesterday, every red is a loss, every gray is a win. So here with 3 wins, 1 loss, that's up, you're up 2. So here you have 3 wins, 2 losses, you're up 1. So up 3 on the day, up 3R with a 1-to-1 ratio. Let's just go through the next day, which was today, July 8th. Were you given any opportunities today? There's one unfolding right now, believe it or not. Where are we at? Here we are. There we are. Yep. 15. Get the 15 over. Now the 15's over. Okay, if the market open, we look at market open first, always. And you walk through the day. And the weekly critical levels don't move. That's what's good about them. They stay the same. You know, the daily levels, those are always moving. But the previous week critical levels, those stay right where they are. Market opens here. And what's happening? The 2 hours in the red telling us to take shorts. That's what's going on. So we wait for a short opportunity with the 15. We want the 15 to cross over to the downside. When does that happen? Happens here. 15 is now crossing over to the downside. And the 5 minute has been expanding to the downside, building momentum. Now remember, you don't have to wait until the 15 crosses over. You can actually start to attack it as soon as the momentum starts to build, which is right here, a little bit earlier. Now, where was a good entry? Well, that was a good entry right there. That's a realignment. Might be hard to see because it's shallow. 1 up, 2 up, realignment to the downside right there. That would have been a 1-to-1 win. This is the first alignment of the day, of today. And then the next alignment would have been this one right here. Let's go to a 2-minute chart because we're kind of getting towards the later parts of the day, so I like to use a 2-minute chart later in the day. That would have been a loss on a 2-minute chart. Would have been a win on a 1-minute chart, though. You can stay on a 1-minute chart if you want. You know, totally fine. The entry would have been here instead, so it would have been 1 bar earlier. Nothing wrong with the 1-minute chart. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with it at all. But I use a 2-minute chart later in the day. And with that logic, that would have been a loss. 1 win, 1 loss. If I was using a 2-minute chart earlier as well, My entry would have been here, which would have been a win. So that's good. Another entry would have been here, which was a win. And had those had runners, those runners would have still been running, so I never would have even taken this trade because that would still be part of my runners. Think about that for a second. So anyway, 1 win, 1 loss, we'll call it, so we're even. We have not made any money today. And we're going to walk forward through the day. After this trade here, the 5-minute momentum starts pulling to the upside. This next realignment to the downside, though it would have been a win, it's not proper, it's not official, because the 5-minute MACD is now moving against us, so we don't take those. 15 is about to cross over to the top side now. And at this point, the 2-hour is now actually flipping in real time. If we could go back, the 2-hour was in the process of flipping over. So now we're in a kind of in a limbo. We don't even want to trade at that point. We want to avoid trading when that kind of stuff is happening. But if we are going to trade, we at least must respect the 15 and we at least must respect the 5. We want those to both be going up together. And when does that happen? It happens right here. 15 is going up. The 2 hours in the process of crossing over. And then what do we see on the 5? The 5 is about to bounce and reestablish momentum to the upside. Where does that happen? That happens literally in this arc right here. This movement. So you weren't able to enter with this variance entry strategy as soon as the momentum realigns, because the momentum never realigned during this whole thing. It was just a movement up. So you didn't get to really capitalize on that with this strategy in particular. If you would have used a different entry point, yes, you could have capitalized on this using like previous bar lows as your exit. Yes, in that case you could have capitalized. But nonetheless, that was all of the alignments that happened today, the official alignments. That one we just talked about wasn't even official, so that's not even technically a trade. We were just going over the alignment of the matter. But in terms of like what happened today, we had +1, -1, which means we finished the day at 0 profit, 0 loss, and with a 1-to-1 strategy. And that was July 8th.